Are you searching all over the internet on how to deal with a breakup when you still love him? Stick with me and listen to this. Maybe you could learn something out of it. Israel once again from Egypt's Cosmetics, and I hope that you stay tuned to my beauty tips today. How do you deal with the breakup when you still love him? I'm talking to girls right now. I'm talking to women. How do you deal with that breakup when you really deeply inside, you didn't want to break up with a guy, you didn't want to break up with him, you still love him? How do you deal with that? How do you go through such a situation? How do you really overcome such stress and such depression and such problems and such issues and such shame and such such situations? Many women are going through such stuff, but they're really struggling. They don't know how to deal with them. They don't know how to go about it. They've never even dealt with such situations. Nobody taught them. Nobody gave them tips. Some even entered marriages and some even ended up divorcing, but they were not trained on how to really go about such situations, how to keep their relationships, how to keep their men, and how to keep them happy. They have no idea. They were not equipped. They entered marriages, relationships, and all that kind of stuff without any clue, without any idea. Nobody was there. No, if it's a guy, no uncle was there. Well, this video is to girls. But basically, there was nobody there. There was no one there. There was no guidance. There was no anything. There was no spiritual guidance. There was no talk. There was no woman talk. Nobody trained you. Maybe you grew up with a single mother. You were raised with your father, and you are a kind of girl who nobody even told you what menstruation means, and how periods work, and you had to get all this info from online. You had to get all this information from friends. You had to grab tips from here and there, neighborhood, on all street kids and all that kind of stuff. And how do you really deal with this? You find yourself, you've been having a very good relationship. You've been a very good, having a guy who's been loving you and all that kind of stuff. And eventually someone came and stole the guy from you. Things turned around, things changed, and you don't even know how to go about it. How do you deal with such situations? That's why we're sitting here. That's why I'm here in front of you. I'm going through this with you. We're gonna go through this. I'm gonna give you tips, and also watch this video all the way to the end. As at the same time, go walk through my playlist. You will come across videos that will equip you and give you all kind of info that you need about how to keep your men, how to keep your relationship going, and how to equip you in your marriage and in your partners, or if you've got a partner, a husband, boyfriend, all that kind of stuff. You will know exactly how to keep them. How do you deal with a breakup? If you're going through a breakup, how do you deal with a breakup? Okay, right now, what caused the breakup? First ask yourself, number one, what caused my breakup? What caused me to break up with my husband, with my boyfriend, with my partner, with my crush, with my or whatever you want to call him? What caused you to break up with him? If the problem actually came, if the problem that caused it was you, of which some of the times it's usually you, the girls, insecurity. I usually repeat this. I'm not saying this because I'm a guy, please don't get me wrong, but I'm a person who gives it to you on a platter as it is. I'm not here to pamper you and tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to give you the facts. I'm here to give you the way men think, the way guys think, I'm here to give you a men's perspective, because most women actually are out there. They have no idea how men think. They've got no clue. Women, they always tell you need to think like a man, act like a woman, but think like a man. You need to know exactly, step into the man's mind and know exactly how a man thinks. You need to know how a man thinks in order to deal with a man species, with a male gender species. You need to know how they think. So I'm giving you the male perspective and the male ideas of how men think in order for you to actually, I've got a lot of basically the whole world, the whole world of women that I know and women who watch my videos, they usually come to me for advice in their relationships, for advice of how to deal with issues, breakups and depression and all that kind of stuff. Usually the problem is with your insecurities. Men don't like women that are insecure. Men are turned off. Insecurity is a turn off. Do not take your insecurities and dump them. Where do those insecurities come from? Usually insecurities, you pick them from when you actually don't heal from the previous relationship and then straight away jump into the next relationship. When you always jump into the next relationship with the previous baggage from the previous relationship, you will always mess up the new relationship. You will always walk in with insecurities, thinking this man is going to hurt you, also thinking this man is going to do the same one, treat you the same one the other one did, making you think that you're still going to, you guard yourself, you protect yourself from going through what you went through previously. This is what usually breaks up the current relationships. Insecurities. You drag your insecurities into this relationship. The man feels insecurities all over you. You call him, you don't trust him, you think he's cheating, he won't work with his friends that are girls, he won't hang out with friends, he won't do anything alone, he won't go to restaurant, you won't allow him to go to a bar, you won't allow him to go play, he won't sit there and watch soccer, he won't get up and go outside and have a smoke, every time you see him, what comes into your mind is he's cheating on you, so basically, usually it's the insecurities that cause men to break up with girls and they end up hurt. What is the number two? Number two is, how do you deal with insecurities in future when you get yourself into a relationship, a new relationship, or if you haven't, you're dealing with this one now, I want to prepare you for the new one, for the new relationship. Make sure that you deal with your insecurities and all those baggages. Deal with your heart, deal with your pain before you jump into it. Do not use the next guy as a rebound. Don't use the next relationship as a rebound. And the other thing I want to tell you is men don't like insecure women. A man would go out and date another woman who is free, who will have fun with him. It's fun. Have fun. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you kiss. I don't care what you do. Those are the girls they usually end up cheating with, because the one in the relationship is insecure. She won't look at when you're walking on the street with him or you're in a mall or somewhere. You won't let him look at any other girl. He's not free to look. You can look but not touch. You won't let him look. You won't let him admire. You won't let him pay a compliment to any other woman. Insecurities. You are so insecure. That turns off men. Men don't like that. Number two, how do you deal with insecurities? How do you deal with the heartbreak? How do you deal with the heartbreaks? Number two is, try, if you're really over the guy. If you're not over the guy, try and make things work. Try and fix yourself, and then try and call him and see if he hasn't moved on. Because usually a man still loves you. A man still wants you. But because you're so stuck up, you're not ready to change, and you don't want to change, and you don't see anything wrong with you, then it kind of like makes him to move on and forget about you. And usually men don't show their feelings. A man won't tell you how deeply he's in love with you. And a man will say things like, I don't care, you can go, I don't care. But he's just saying that because of anger. But deep inside, he wants you. He really wants you. But because you will not break down, you won't break down, you won't break, you won't admit that you were wrong, you won't tell him how hurt you are by the previous relation, you won't tell him how you were raped when you were a child, you won't open up to that man, you won't tell him the reason why you're acting the way you're acting. Most men are ready to walk through these issues with you. They are ready, but you will not let him in. You won't allow him because you think he's going to hurt you like the other men. So what's the problem here? The problem is, open up to him. Call him and tell him, look, I'm sorry that I really hurt you. I did hurt you. Don't talk about him hurting you. Because if you really want this man, now I'm talking to you, to those who really feel that you want to win your relationship back. Don't talk about him hurting you. Talk about you hurting him. Tell him, I'm sorry I did hurt you, but can we work this out? I'm ready to change. I'll do anything to change. I'm ready to change. I'll stop being insecure. I'll stop being this. I'll stop being that. I'll stop possessing. I'll stop being possessive. I'll stop all the kind of stuff that I do. Tell him that you're gonna set him free. You set the person free. Usually, if you hold the person hostage, the person will realize that they're in hostage and they will try to find their freedom. And the minute they find a way to run away from you, you will never get them back. So the only trick is to set the person free while you have them. Set them free. When you set the guy free, the guy feels free. The guy you can even tell him, look, I don't care whether you sleep with whoever you sleep with. I know this is tough to say. The women usually tell me that is tough. Tell him, I don't care who you sleep with, just use protection. The guy will feel free. Trust me, if you give him freedom, you will have him for yourself for the rest of your life. He will never go anywhere. Most things that end up actually breaking up relationships is not setting the guy free. Not setting him free. Make him feel free. Tell him, give him the condoms yourself. Give him the condoms. Tell him to go sleep. I don't care what you do outside, because what you do outside, I cannot protect you. I'm not your protector. I don't have any power over you. I don't own you. Tell him, I don't own you. Give him the condoms. Tell him to go. Tell him, if you find yourself somewhere in a corner whereby you're tempted, just use protection. Use protection and come back home safe. Release him. Let him go. By that way, he's gonna be afraid. He's gonna be afraid of doing anything out there. Your words are gonna haunt him in his head. He's gonna think whatever he does out there, he's gonna think you're busy watching him. So set him free. Set him free. Do not hold him hostage. Let him go. Let him be free. And by setting him free, you're gonna set yourself free. You will set yourself free. But the more you're insecure and the more you're holding him hostage, you will never be free. He will never be free, and you will never be free, and it's gonna end up hurting you. So I'm trying to rescue those who are trying to get their relationships back. Now back to those who don't want anything to do with him. He's hurt you. He's been repeating the same things. You've taken him back and he's repeating the same thing. Now with that first thing you should do is make sure that you find ways to make him friend. To find ways. You have to find ways to be friends with him. Be friends with him. I always tell women, be friends with him. I know it's very difficult and you're still hurting right now, but distance yourself from him. Distance yourself from him. Say after a year or something like that. Don't delete anything of his. Delete all social media. Stop stalking him. Delete everything of his. Give yourself time to heal. After you heal, you really need to go back and be friends with him. Make friends with him. Don't give him power over you. Forget him. I've got videos about forgiving, how to forgive and forget, and the meaning of forgive. So go back to my playlist and check it out. Check out all the videos. And in case you wanna see more of that, hit the subscribe button there. Don't forget to hit the bell button to receive a notification of every single video that I upload just for you. So delete everything of his in the beginning. Give yourself time to heal. Don't stay in contact with anybody who knows him. Just give yourself time to move on and heal. Before you jump into the next, don't replace another boyfriend while they're still hurting. Give yourself, be single, stay single, keep yourself, find a hobby, go do stuff, join communities, keep yourself busy. Get a new job if he works there at that job. Ask for a transfer, request for a transfer, be transferred somewhere else, move and stay away from him until you heal. After a year or so, you will realize that actually life is good, and then make friends with him. Meet his partner that he's with right now, and then amend things. Make sure that you find your exes and make friends with them. Move on, communicate nicely with them, move on. That's the final stage of actually moving on and dealing with anger after someone broke up with you, after someone hurt you. Move on and be friends with them. Stay friends with them. Jump into the friend zone. So stay tuned for more videos, and don't forget to subscribe there. I keep telling you once again and again and again, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. Don't go without subscribing. Touch that bell button to receive every video, or to receive a notification, a message that I've uploaded an awesome video just for you. Israel once again from Egypt's Cosmetics, hoping that you stay tuned to my beauty tips today.